Good evening, dear viewers. You're watching ERi-TV. Welcome to our news broadcast. Here are the headlines. Eritrean delegation participates at Special Committee on Charter of UN. Cataract surgery campaign conducted in Southern region. Indian farmers' protest march resumes. Thousands flee while they can as bushfire burns in Australia's south. In our domestic news, an Eritrean delegation participated in the 2024 session of the 6th Committee of the Special Committee on the Charter of the United Nations and on the strengthening of the role of the organization, held in New York on 20 February. In the statement delivered at the session, the Eritrean delegation emphasized the critical importance of the Special Committee's work as a platform for building effective multilateral institutions. These institutions are essential for strengthening the UN Charter and the role of the organization. The delegation highlighted the significance of renewing commitments to establish a just, equitable, and peaceful global order. Such an order should feature international institutions that reflect the aspirations for a new era of genuine partnership and shared prosperity. This goal can only be achieved by ensuring compliance and strict adherence to the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. Regarding unilateral sanctions, the statement pointed out that when imposed outside the legal framework of the UN, they contravene fundamental principles of international law. These principles include the sovereign equality of states, the peaceful settlement of disputes, the principles of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, as well as several international human rights treaties and international humanitarian law. The statement further added that unilateral sanctions often target the civilian population of the sanctioned state, aiming to induce political changes favorable to the sanctioning entities. This leads to a devastating impact on the human rights of the population in targeted countries, including the rights to health, freedom from hunger, the right to education, the right to life, and the right to development. The Eritrean delegation noted that numerous resolutions adopted by the UN General Assembly, the Human Rights Council, and regional organizations such as the African Union condemn these unilateral coercive measures. An overwhelming number of states call for the cessation of such practices as a means to influence a state's internal affairs. On the topic of multilateral sanctions imposed by the United Nations Security Council, the delegation stated that despite the careful targeting of sanctions to minimize negative humanitarian impacts, they should always be employed as a last resort. This should occur only after peaceful settlement measures have been exhausted and in accordance with the purposes and principles set forth in the UN Charter, as well as the provisions under Chapter 7. The delegation also underlined the importance of the working papers and proposals submitted to the committee and emphasized the need to continue giving serious consideration to the different proposals tabled by several delegations, including new ones. This is within the scope and mandate of the committee to discuss substantive legal matters and provides a unique way to strengthen the role of the United Nations in the maintenance of international peace and security. A significant cataract surgery campaign was held at Mendefara Referral Hospital from 15 to 22 February, where 420 patients received treatment. This initiative was a collaborative effort between the Al-Basr ophthalmologists team and Eritrean medical scientists. Dr. Bisrat Waldegargish, an eye specialist, reported that out of 1,500 patients who underwent ocular diagnostics, 420 were selected for eye surgery. The remaining patients were provided with necessary medications and eyeglasses. Mr. Alam Zakarias, the Director of National Blindness Control of the Ministry of Health, highlighted the growing prevalence of cataract as a leading cause of blindness. He commended the Al-Basr ophthalmologists team for their cooperation in addressing this issue. Mr. Alam emphasized that regular cataract surgery programs are being conducted across all regions of Eritrea. The current campaign, in partnership with the Al-Basr team, is a continuation of these ongoing efforts to combat blindness due to cataracts. Dr. Mohammed Abdullah, a member of the Al-Basr ophthalmologist team, expressed his gratitude for the opportunity to contribute to this important work in Eritrea. He thanked the hospital management and the local eye specialists for their support and cooperation. Patients who benefited from the surgery expressed their appreciation for the opportunity to have their vision restored. In a related note, the Al-Basr ophthalmologists team had previously conducted a similar cataract surgery campaign in the Amhara city last year, treating 445 patients. Mr. Muhammad Ali Daud, a representative from the Agricultural Office in the Fanko administrative area, has reported that local residents are actively engaged in extensive water and soil conservation activities. The initiative, which involves the community participating in conservation efforts twice a week, aims to rehabilitate the environment and improve soil productivity. The ultimate goal is to enhance agricultural production and promote biodiversity in the area. Mr. Muhammad Ali highlighted the success of similar conservation efforts previously undertaken around the Fanko Dam, which has set a positive precedent for the current activities. Following the completion of the current water and soil conservation phase, there are plans to embark on the construction of extensive terracing and water catchment schemes. Mr. Ibrahim Haj, the administrator of the Fanko administrative area, has called on the community to increase their involvement to ensure the success of these ambitious projects. The residents, recognizing the importance of these conservation efforts for their agricultural productivity, have expressed their commitment to continuing their participation in the program. They acknowledged the critical role that water and soil conservation plays in sustaining their livelihoods and are determined to contribute to the long-term success of these initiatives. Those are domestic news. Please stay tuned now for the international news right after the short break. India farmers' protest resumed its march to the capital after talks with the government failed to end an impasse over their demands for guaranteed crop prices. Indian farmers began their protest march last week but were stopped some 200 kilometers from New Delhi as police fired rounds of tear gas. Punjab's shared borders with the state of Haryana have become protest sites for the farmers attempting to reach New Delhi. The majority of the protesting farmers are from the two states. Last week, the farmers paused their protest and knelt down near the town of Shambhu, close to the border between Punjab and Haryana, as their unions engaged in discussions with government ministers. They rejected a proposal offering them 5 years contract of guaranteed prices on a set of certain crops, including maize, grains, and cotton, and decided to resume their march on Wednesday. The protest organizers say the farmers are seeking new legislation that would guarantee minimum prices for 23 crops. The farmers believed this would help stabilize their income. They are also pressing the government to follow through on promises to waive loans and withdraw legal cases brought against them during the earlier 2021 protests. More than 2,000 people have been ordered to evacuate from towns in the west of Australia's Victoria state due to a bushfire burning out of control since Thursday. Roughly 50 square kilometers is ablaze northwest of Ballarat. A similar area is also burning out of control further to the west. The State Emergency Service urged residents in the towns of Raglan and Beaufort, home to around 2,000 people, and those in surrounding areas to leave while it was still safe and head east to the nearby regional hub of Ballarat, 95 kilometers west of Melbourne. Large swaths of state area are on high alert for fires, and the Bureau of Meteorology on Thursday issued extreme fire danger warnings for several districts due to hot, dry winds and the potential for thunderstorms. Please stay tuned now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Eritrean delegation participates at special committee on Charter of UN. Cataract surgery campaign conducted in southern region. India farmers' protest march resumes. Thousands flee while they can as bushfire burns in Australia's south. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.